Hello and welcome to the Cine Snobs. I'm Ryan Brown, and today we're here at Phoenix Fan Fusion with Noshir Dalal. How you doing, my friend?
I'm great, my man. Thanks.
You may know him as Rain from Mortal Kombat 1 or Bode from Star Wars Jedi Survivor. So I just had a couple quick questions, and then you'll be on your merry way back to the convention. So, as Bode, how did it feel to give the biggest plot twist out of any Star Wars media?
I think, first of all, when I was originally cast, all I was told was, you get to be a guy. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to be a good guy and fight alongside Cal. And so when I read the script, I had my WTF moment just like everyone else had when they actually played the game. And my heart just kind of sank, you know what I mean? But what I love is, I feel like, I grew up with Star Wars, like Empire Strikes Back and watching speeder bikes flying through Endor, and it kind of like, it left a permanent impression on my brain. But also I watched that like as a little kid, and all of those Star Wars fans from that age, we're now old and realizing, the good guys don't shoot green lasers and the bad guys don't shoot red lasers. Like, oftentimes the guys and the bad guys are hard to tell the difference. And I think Bode is a wonderful example of those shades of gray and the hard truths that come with growing up.
Yeah. So you're kind of saying that Bode wasn't really a Jedi nor a Sith. He was kind of like more of a gray Jedi, like Star Killer almost?
I think more what I'm saying is, so there was a moment in recording the performance capture for Bode where someone on the team was like, so, like Bode is like this evil guy. And I was like, no, Bode is not evil. Bode thinks he's a good guy. He was a good guy that had to make concessions to survive and to keep the things important to him close to him. And I think what happens is a good person can lose their way through small concessions. And we're seeing that in society today, right? These small moral concessions that we make. And we can tell ourselves it's, it's because I care about the economy, or, because I need to work or whatever. But at the end of the day, the question becomes like, what is the right thing? And at what point have you lost your way and put the betterment of yourself before the betterment of others?
All right, that sounds amazing. And okay, switching tracks over from Star Wars to Marvel Spider-Man 2, how was it working alongside big names like Yuri Lowenthal and just becoming not even as a small character, but still having a very big role to the Spider-Man character?
Well, first of all, most people don't know, but I've been involved in the Spider-Man series from the first game. I'm the body of Rhino, Tombstone, Hammerhead. Like, I do a lot of the fine weapons work, so like, I've gotten to work with all of those guys and watch kind of, especially in the case of Najee, right? Like, watch him grow as a storyteller and an actor. Yuri is always peak performance, you know what I mean? But to watch Peter Parker grow and mature has been a real adventure. I think the thing I loved about working on Mysterio was I got to tell the story of a villain who's trying to go straight. Or originally that scene where Najee comes in as Miles, and then Quentin is there, right? And he says, the name is Mysterio. And the idea was he was going to be like just mad as hell and kind of like, I'm going to mess you all up and put on the helmet. And I talked to the writing team and I was like, I've done work with ex-cons. I've rolled with some people who come from sordid pasts. And I myself have had a history I'm not proud of and tried to make myself better. And some of the hardest things that happen are the people close to you not being willing to see that you are trying to make a change, right? They try to keep you in the box they know you from. And so the story I tried to tell with Quentin is like, sometimes even if you're trying to be good, if the people and the elements around you are trying to force you back into that box they know you from, that's a very hard thing to escape, being defined by your past. And so they allowed me to try a version of that where Quentin, when he does that, instead of it being angry, it's more relief. He's been fighting this notion that he's a villain for so long, and finally he kind of gives into it. It's a surrender, he's giving up. And I think there's a heartbreak in that we wouldn't have had otherwise, and I love that for Quentin.
Yeah, it seems that a lot of your characters do really struggle with the fact of you think it's good, yet it comes out as bad. Which again, I love that trope. I feel like it's amazing. Even with characters like Rain, who obviously may seem like more in the background as well, I do feel like that is like a great idea. So, what are your thoughts more on Rain? Because I feel story, he's kind of a little bit like Jafar, where he's like just a grand vizier and he's supposed to help out, but has his own gains and he wants to do more.
So